My husband begged for a trial separation to find himself. Turns out, found himself in his married coworker's bed. And when I found out she was pregnant with his baby, I didn't just file for divorce. I completely destroyed his career. My husband of 7 years asked for a trial separation. He wouldn't make eye contact. He just stared at his coffee mug and said, "I need a few months to find myself. I feel suffocated." I was absolutely devastated. I cried, helped him pack his bags, and watched him drive away to a short-term rental. 6 weeks of dead silence went by. Then, he showed up at our house, completely unannounced. He looked like an absolute ghost, pacing our hardwood floors, sweating, hyperventilating. He literally fell to his knees in the living room. "She is keeping the baby," he blurted out, burying his face in his hands. My heart stopped. "Excuse me? Who is keeping a baby?" He sobbed hysterically. "Lexi, the junior VP at my firm. I swear it was just a one-time mistake after a client dinner." I stared at him, letting out a cold, hollow laugh. "A one-time mistake? Preston, you moved out so you could play house with your pregnant mistress without feeling guilty." He reached out, trying to grab my knees, begging for forgiveness. I kicked his hands away. "Get out of my house and call a lawyer." Once he was gone, I went into full FBI mode. I found Lexi's Facebook page, and guess what? She was married too, to a guy named John. I tracked down John's number and we met for drinks. He was completely shattered, and then he was furious. We didn't just compare our spouses' timelines, we planned an absolute massacre. 2 weeks later, I called Preston. I told him I missed him, and that I was ready to work things out. I offered to host a massive catered dinner party at our house to announce our reconciliation to everyone we cared about. I told him to invite his parents, his friends, and his coworkers, including Lexi and her husband, John. The night of the party, 50 people were packed into our living room. Preston was beaming, holding my hand, playing the perfect devoted husband. Lexi was nervously avoiding eye contact, while John stood by the fireplace, gripping his whiskey glass so hard his knuckles were white. I picked up a spoon and clinked it against my champagne flute. Ding, ding, ding. The room went dead silent. Preston smiled at me, wrapping an arm around my waist. "Thank you all for coming," I started, keeping my voice sweet and steady. "Preston and I have been through a lot. He took some time away recently to find himself." I violently shrugged off his arm, stepped back, and grabbed a thick manila folder from the counter. And boy, did he find himself, mostly in the bed of his junior VP, Lexi. The entire room froze. Preston's jaw hit the floor. "Babe, what are you doing? Stop!" he hissed, lunging for the folder. I shoved him back hard. "Do not touch me!" I screamed, my voice vibrating off the walls. I ripped the folder open, throwing dozens of printed text messages and hotel receipts into the air. They rained down on the dining table like toxic confetti. "They've been sleeping together for 8 months, I yelled, pointing directly at Lexi, who was trembling and backing toward the door. "And the best part? She is pregnant with his kid," Preston's mother gasped, clutching her chest. Preston's boss dropped his plate of appetizers, the porcelain shattering loudly on the floor. John walked right up to Preston, grabbed him by the collar, and punched him, square in the jaw. Preston went down hard, crashing into the glass coffee table. Lexi started sobbing hysterically, begging John to listen to her. John just spit at her feet, turned around, and walked out the front door. I looked down at my husband, bleeding on the rug, surrounded by his own filthy lies. "You wanted a separation, Preston?" I smiled, stepping over him. "Consider this a permanent one."